Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to read. This is some bonus content right here. I'm going to read the plot of the musical Rent. So, Margaret, Margaret, have
All
you
right, I am I have meditated and asked for forgiveness.
you've,
So now I am ready.
you've asked to astral project yourself out of your body while you listen to this?
Yeah.
All right, so neither of us have seen this play, right?
No, I haven't. I've seen a lot of posters for it.
It's like a
And
meme.
at the time, like the thing is I actually remember seeing so much propaganda for this when I was a kid, but
When did
I
this
never
thing?
saw it.
When did this
I don't
fucking?
know, but I mean, I remember seeing posters for it like since like 1998 or something.
Oh, I thought
Like
this came out in
I
the
was
'80s.
I
This
was
came
a
out in the
child.
'90s. This came out in the '90s. All right. Well, let's get through this. Let's get through this.
Okay.
Let's get through this fag drag. All right. Act one. On Christmas Eve in Manhattan's East Village, two roommates, Mark, a filmmaker, and Roger, a rock musician, struggle to stay
Oh,
warm and produce their art. Mark's mother leaves him a
I hate.
voicemail wishing him a Merry Christmas and to confront
Oh
trying to
yeah, Merry
comfort.
Christmas. Well, pretty sure you mispronounced Hanukkah.
and trying to comfort him since his ex-girlfriend Maureen dumped him. Their friend
Fucking Marine.
their friend Tom Collins, a gay anarchist professor at New York University.
Oh, man, shameless, shame.
Calls and plans to surprise them at their apartment, but is mugged before entering. It's a happy ending. All right. At the same time, Mark and Roger's former roommate and friend Benny, who has since become their harsh new landlord, has reneged on their early agreement and now demands last year's rent before shutting down their electrical power. This is so stupid and bad already.
That's the thing. It's like these kind of archetypes is like the kind of thing that like white people can identify with because we all do have that tortured artist in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's this thing that it only exists as a white person when you have like a fucking rich ass like Jewish grandparents. Like or it's a thing that fucking exists when you're not white because you don't
Because
aren't
you get
actually like
welfare, or
take
you get a full ride
yeah
scholarship to Harvard
yeah, so like
University on a
it's just this
diversity
fucking way of
lottery and
making
blah blah
white
blah.
people try to identify with these other people that
Well,
like
that's the
aren't
whole.
actually a part of their group.
No, yeah, that's part of the
They're
general
either Jewish
Hollywood.
or they're white.
There's the general Hollywood narrative that has come out in since film started, which is like the siding with the outsider and feeling connected with the outsider in society and the dejected and the what is it? You're tired and hooded
Oh, but it's
masses and like
it's like it's just so insidious because the outsider is in all of us.
right, but it's like instead of dealing with like those parts of ourselves where we don't quite feel like we connect with the
Mm-hmm.
society, instead it's like these people who are like completely on the fringes and working to destroy the society as opposed, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
yeah.
and then it's like attempting to magnify and glorify like
What's the
this
difference between
artist
subversion
persona.
and it's a difference between subversion and reform. Like you're either like a reformer is somebody who wants to change their society. A subverter is somebody who like feels like they fundamentally don't fit in and need to like destroy the society to rebuild it. But anyways,
Most white people do have a tortured artist persona within them. And it's not just like glorifying the subversion, but it's like poking the pin into that like pain
well,
that you
that's what I'm
feel.
saying is
And,
that that
it's like stimulating it more than it needs to be stimulated.
right. Well, what I'm
So
saying is
it's
that
like making you feel
natural
more lonely than you are.
that natural kind of tortured artist thing, that sort of drive and instinct that people have should be and kind of naturally is pushed in the method of like reforming the system as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to subverting the system. So it's this kind of thing of where you've got like your standard archetypal story of like maybe there's like a knight at the round table but the king is corrupt and then you need to like overthrow the king to make the new system better or something like that. And instead of coming in and being like, we're the rebels from Star Wars. Like, don't even get me started on that fucking the rebels of.
I think the thing that I see it the most, like the problems of it all is like specifically, we're like pretty much like white girls, like when they go to college and shit, and then they start like realizing that they came from like patriarchal families, whereas like beforehand, right, like you have struggles with your parents and stuff, but like you say, like, oh, okay, my parents want what's best for me, blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, it's like that.
But then it's like,
whatever
then
that
you
meme.
get pathologized, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, dude, like my dad was like so oppressive when like really he was just like putting forth this regular thing. So it's like that's the type of stuff that bothers me, because it's like these are the things that, like, as a teenager and stuff, like you should feel, but you should then very quickly recognize that like it's okay, this is normal, and now I move on. Rather than like I just sit there and stick pins in the pain and like keep feeling it.
Yeah, that's like basically the feel that this whole play is. It seems like.
Yeah. That's just what bothers me. Like it's like infantilizing these like adolescent feelings into lasting throughout adulthood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the whole adolescent nature, which is which is a thing that you might see over and over again represented in certain types of media produced by certain types of people.
There is no reason when you are an adult to be doing this.
Looking at this gentleman, Tom Collins, the gay anarchist professor at New York University. Now, when I hear gay anarchist professor, you hear gay anarchist professor at New York University, it's like, I'm thinking Josh, What do you think of?
I don't know. When someone says Tom Collins, I seriously just think about alcohol.
Well, no, not the Tom Collins part, but gay anarchist professor at New York University. You're like,
oh yeah. I totally think of some type of like Marxist kind of a thing.
Can you do your vocal fry for? I'm thinking.
Yeah, I read on the New York Times.
No. I mean, can you do? I'm thinking Jewish in the vocal fry.
Oh, I'm thinking Jewish. So something like, okay. I'm thinking Jewish.
Well, anyways, so, but apparently not. It looks like in the play, Tom Collins is a Blake.
Yeah, I mean, okay. In what fucking play do the Jews play themselves as Jews?
Yeah, right. I'm just saying.
Maybe he's a black homeless. Maybe he's a black Hebrew Israelite.
No, he looks like he's got like a beanie and like he looks like he's a homeless guy. He's got like the puffy jacket and shit. Like he doesn't look like he's a professor.
Is he yelling racial slurs at everybody else going by?
Yeah, right. Some of them.
They go gay.
Some of them Edomites. Fucking birds.
They go gay. They go gay.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, anyways, so this is where it gets good.
Okay.
Well, then we gotta go back.
Let's hear this black Hebrew Israelite Tom Collins.
Well, there's also Benny, the landlord. It's just Benny, which is short for Benjamin, which is short for Benjamin. He's a harsh landlord.
Fucking Shapiro.
He's a heart. I'm gonna point to. I need to sample that as ISO as a drop for your response to this, because I think New York harsh landlord in the East Village. What am I thinking? Margaret?
That one guy that complained when Michael Jackson was singing about kikes.
No, you gotta pick up what I'm laying down. It's the bit. It's a callback. It's a callback bit. What am I thinking? I'm thinking
New York Times.
Well, anyways, okay.
Wait, but you know that one bit in Michael Jackson's song that they made him scrub?
No.
Yeah, he was like talking about the kikes. He like dropped the K word.
What?
Yeah, in the like they don't care about us song. Okay,
Doesn't matter if you're
I'll
black
have to
or
show you.
white.
I have to show you an original clip.
Okay. All right. So
But yeah,
Benjamin,
sorry.
who has since become their
Mhm.
new landlord, he's demanding a whole year's rent before shutting down their electrical power. However, Mark and Roger rebel and resolve not to pay the rent they cannot pay, which they were promised wouldn't be a problem. Oh, look at that! He's going back on their deal, demanding a whole year's rent. Meanwhile, Angel, a cross-dressing street drummer, presently out of drag, finds Collins wounded in an alley and tends to him. Did you find that clip of Michael Jackson?
Oh no.
Yeah, you keep looking for it. I'll just keep reading to this. The name of this song that they sung during this scene is called "You Okay, Honey?" Question mark. The two are immediately attracted to each other, both learning that the other is HIV positive.
Okay, I mean this is like a news thing, but like they have like the New York Jew in there being like, "Oh God," he said Jew.
Let's see what we get.
The king of pop caught in controversy again. He said he'd lose the lyrics that outraged critics. Now he's singing them again for his new video, and E.T. has the tape.
He says, Juby Subi, everybody do me. Everybody do me. Kick me, kike me. Don't you black or white me. Whoa.
Dude, MJ was woke as shit.
Apparently.
Like they killed him for a reason.
Yeah, remember
when
Adam Curry was on Fox News and he's like, and that's why you people murdered Michael Jackson. Then we got this guy.
He was J-woke as shit. He knew what they were doing. He was around it since he was a kid. Dude, he was around it since he was a kid.
All right, well then now listen to this guy.
Those are the words that he told us that he would never use again.
Plus,
All right. Okay, so the gay anarchist professor at New York University is wounded in an alley where he meets the tranny, and they both fall in love because they both have AIDS.
Oh yeah, that's the true love spell.
It is revealed that Roger, the rock musician, too has HIV, which he contracted from his last girlfriend because that's possible.
Look, it's not just the gays.
Everybody can get AIDS. It's totally possible.
Gays is for everybody.
It's totally possible to get AIDS from any other method of sex other than receptive anal sex. It's totally a possible thing that can totally happen to anybody.
Oh, I hate the gays.
And his girlfriend committed suicide after learning of her diagnosis, which has caused Roger to fall into depression. Mark goes to see one of Maureen's shows while Roger stays home. Can you
imagine like watching this and like wishing you were a part of all that?
Can you imagine watching this and like enjoying it and not just like clawing at your chair and being like, "Get the fuck out of here"?
This is the thing, like with these kind of like tragedies and stuff, like that's like what glorified the whole like mental illness thing. That's like become a thing where people like glorify their depression and stuff, you know.
This just came out of the 90s. The 90s was like the soft.
It came out of the 90s, but I mean, today came out of the 90s as well.
Well, right, but like the 90s was just such like a soft underbelly of Western civilization, where they really dug the knife in there, you know.
Yeah, well, it's when the people accepted multiculturalism with open assholes. So. Yeah.
So Roger has AIDS, and he's trying to compose on his guitar without success. He wishes desperately...
I don't care. I don't care.
He wishes desperately to write one last song to be remembered by before he dies. An exotic dancer, junkie, and neighbor, Mimi, shows up at their apartment asking for help with lighting her candle.
Your crack pipe?
Yeah, right. That's more likely what they'd be coming over. Like, this is the 21st century, 20th century. Here we have.
You ain't got no fucking prostitute asking to ask a candle.
I need to light a candle.
No.
Flirting with Roger.
They got candles.
Flirting with Roger in the process. However, he is clearly hesitant to return her affections. The song here is called Light My Candle.
Dear Lord have mercy.
This is so gay. All right.
It's like just everything you're saying, like I like it just sounds so dirty. Like
so
not
bad.
not like dirty like oh what a dirty movie. It's like dirty like I feel like it's like I can like feel the grime. It's so dirty. Like
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, Joanne, a lawyer and Maureen's girlfriend, receives a voicemail from her parents. At last, the missing Collins enters the apartment, presenting Angel, who is now in full drag, and shares the money she made at the sharing the money that Sport just made, that the champ just made an amusing story about how they killed a dog to earn it. How the tranny killed a dog to earn it. This is like...
ooh, call PETA.
Yeah. Is it Chinese tranny? Is it a Chinese tranny?
Get some fucking back stew.
Yeah, right? Alright. Benny arrives, speaking of Maureen's upcoming protest against his plan to evict the homeless from a lot where he is hoping to build a cyber art studio. Benny offers that if they convince Maureen to cancel the protest, then Mark and Roger can officially remain rent-free tenants. Okay. However, the two rebuff Benny's... Wait, so who's trying to start the cyber art studio?
Dude, just like this shit is gay. Move on.
Alright, well the cyber art studio is slightly less gay than being a fucking homeless degenerate, like doing nothing.
Yeah, but if you're like a homeless degenerate in the cyber art studio, you're still a homeless degenerate.
They're just going to open the cyber art studio and it's going to be full of homeless degenerates. It's like the same thing. You have good lighting, some heat.
Like what? I mean, is a fucking cyber art thing. It still has AIDS everywhere.
Well, Margaret, it was the 90s. This was back when you throw the word cyber in front of something and people are like, ooh, I'm buying this. It's really immersive cyber. All right.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Immersive cyber AIDS. Don't worry, it's not real. It's just cyber AIDS.
Mark leaves to fix Maureen's sound equipment for the protest, unexpectedly meeting Joanne at the stage. Initially hesitant with each other, the two eventually bond over their shared distrust of Maureen's promiscuous behaviors. Mark joins Collins and Angel.
Wait. So they bond because they both don't trust her behavior.
Hey, look, I mean, we both have HIV, but like she's being a little bit promiscuous.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Right. Mark joins Collins and Angel to film their HIV support group meeting. Life Support, the name of the song. While Mimi attempts to seduce Roger alone in his apartment. Roger is extremely upset by Mimi's intrusion, demanding she
Why
leave
does
him
everybody
alone.
have AIDS?
It was the 90s.
Everyone
Resisting
just
any
had
romantic
AIDS.
feelings he may harbor for her. After Mimi leaves, Roger reflects on his fear of dying an undignified death from AIDS.
Can you imagine watching this as a play and having to like hear all these fucking monologues?
It's so sad, 'cause I'm dying of AIDS. Collins, Mark, and Angel protect a homeless woman from police harassment, but she chastises them. To lighten the mood, Collins talks about his dream of escaping New York City to open a restaurant in Santa Fe. A restaurant staffed entirely by HIV-positive staff, like that one in San Francisco.
Ew.
Not really. I'm adding that, but it might as well be. Soon, Mark leaves to check up on Roger, and while alone, Collins and Angel confess their love for each other. The song here is called I'll Cover You. Joanne hectically prepares for Maureen's show, trying to balance all the people calling her at once. Before the performance, Roger apologizes to Mimi, inviting her to come to the protest and the dinner party his friends are having afterwards. At the same time, police vendors and homeless people prepare for the protest. Maureen begins her avant-garde, if not over-the-top performance, based on Hey Diddle Diddle, Over the Moon. At the post-show party at the Life Cafe, Benny arrives, criticizing the protest and the group's bohemian lifestyle. In response, Mark and the cafe's bohemian patrons defiantly rise up to celebrate their way of living. Viva la boheme. Mimi and Roger each discover the other is HIV positive and hesitantly decide to move forward with their relationship. The song here is called Should I Tell You? Joanne explains Mark and Roger's building has been padlocked and a riot has broken out. Roger and Mimi, unaware, share their first kiss. The celebration continues.
The G button's not working.
Oh, you're trying to gas this play?
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, because things really get cooking in Act 2. Act 2! The cast lines up to sing together before the plot of the second act begins, affirming that one should measure life in love. Afterwards, Mark and Roger gather to break back into their locked apartment with their friends. If you measure your life in love the way that people are in this play, you'll definitely end up with AIDS, you know. I see you're sending a lot of G's in the chat here. Afterwards, this looks like the super. We gotta get the super chat in here. Donate $500 in the super chat. Donate $500 in the super chat, and I will be purchasing a can of Zyklon B for the live stream.
Yes, please.
Afterwards, Mark and Roger gather to break back into their locked apartment with their friends. A new voicemail reveals that Mark's footage of the riot has earned him a job offering at a tabloid news company called Buzzline. I wonder if this must have been before BuzzFeed was a thing. So BuzzFeed is
Can I please cut you off?
Hold on. BuzzFeed is literally AIDS, apparently.
Yeah, okay, tell me something I don't know.
I'm just going to scan through looking for HIV. Mimi goes to her drug dealer for a fix. Around Valentine's Day, Mark tells the audience that Roger and Mimi have been living together. Joanne and Maureen are preparing another protest. Blah, blah, blah. Time progresses to spring. Mimi has escalating heroin usage, which strains her relationship with Roger. And Roger's lasting jealousy and suspicion of Benny. Each alone, Roger and Mimi sing love and loneliness, telling each other how they feel. As they watch Colin nurse an angel whose health is declining due to AIDS. By the end of the summer, Mark continues to receive calls offering a corporate job at Buzzline. Those guys at Buzzline just want him so bad to work there. How you hanging in there, Margaret? Did you contract AIDS?
Have you ever felt bad for somebody with AIDS?
No. I've never known anybody with AIDS.
I've known a few people.
Oh, no.
I've never felt bad.
I once met somebody who had AIDS, and I was like, makes sense how you got AIDS.
Yeah, I can't find it within me to feel anything about that.
All right, let's see. A dance is performed representing all the couple's sex lives.
Dude, I'm gonna shut this off. I'm disgusted.
At the climax of the number, the two former couples break up, and Angel suddenly dies. Happy ending. At the funeral,
Who would have known it all had a happy ending?
At the funeral, friends come to get all the couples break up. That's so fucking So we got celebrate our sex lives, and then break up with the couples, and everyone has. I wonder why everyone has AIDS. It's breaking up. Mark expresses his fear of being the only one left surviving when the rest of his friends die of AIDS. And he finally accepts the corporate job offer. Roger reveals he is leaving.
This is the definition of paused.
Roger reveals that he is leaving for Santa Fe, which sparks an argument about commitment between him and Mimi and between Maureen and Joanne. Colin arrives and admonishes the entire group for fighting the whole day. At the whole day of Angel's funeral, causing Maureen and Joanne to reconcile, but not Mimi and Roger. The group shares a sad moment knowing that between the deaths and leaving, their close-knit friendships will be breaking up. Everyone leaves except Mark and Roger. So Mark tries to convince Roger to stay in New York. Unable to handle Mimi's declining health. Mimi's got declining health too! Dude, AIDS and heroin! Mimi returns to say goodbye, overhears everything, and is terrified, agrees to go to rehab. Collins is forcibly removed from the church for being unable to pay for Angel's funeral. Do people let you throw a funeral before you pay for it?
Maybe if you're gay and have AIDS.
Mimi shows compassion by paying. So apparently Mimi,
like you're just like reciting to me like proto diversity. So I'm so unamused.
Yeah, the cast is pretty diverse in this too.
Well, but I mean, like Rent itself, it's just like proto everything that is today.
All right, sometime later, both Roger and Mark simultaneously reach an artistic epiphany, as Roger finds his song in Mimi, and Mark finds his film in Angel's memory. Oh, what a great film! What was I thinking? Such a great film about a tranny with AIDS. Everyone would want to watch that. Roger decides to return to New York, time for Christmas, while Mark quits his job at Buzzline. He devotes his efforts to working on his film.
Too much.
The characters' parents, concerned and confused about their respective situations, leave several worried messages on their phones. I'm just fine, Mom and Dad. I'm just experiencing myself. I'm just experiencing the world. On Christmas Eve, exactly 1 year having passed, Mark prepares to screen his now completed film on his friends. Roger has written a song, but no one can find Mimi for him to play it to. Benny's wife discovering Benny's relationship with Mimi, blah, blah, blah. At ATM, Collins enters with a handful of cash, revealing that he reprogrammed an ATM at a grocery store to provide money to anyone with the code ANGEL. Wow, that cyber arts cafe really paid off. Because anybody just hacked into an ATM machine to get the free money to pay for everyone's bohemian, AIDS-riddled lifestyle. Blah. Mimi, who has been homeless and is now weak and close to death. She begins to fade, telling Roger she loves him. Roger tells her to hold on as he plays her the song he wrote for her, revealing the depths of his feelings for her. Mimi appears to die, but abruptly awakens, claiming to have been heading to a white light before a vision of Angel appeared, telling her to go back and stay with Roger. The remaining friends gathered together in a final moment of shared happiness and resolve to enjoy whatever time they have left with each other, affirming that there is no day but today. How would you feel if you went to a concert and they brought a homeless, junkie, prostitute woman on stage who is actually dying of AIDS, like as the performance is going on, you know?
Yeah, the thing, they wouldn't do that.
I'd be like, can we get an ambulance in here? Can we get an ambulance in here?
No, the thing with all these plays is like the minute anybody who is an actual character of any of these things approach one of these people, I mean, they'd be calling 911.
Yeah, we need to get you people some assistance here.
Nobody wants to deal with someone who's homeless and has AIDS. And like, I would say probably at least both of us, we've seen these kinds of people. Dude, they're the decrepit. You don't want to touch them. You don't want to go near them. You don't even feel bad for them. They're gross. Like, these are like, you don't bother with these kind of people. So to like pretend, make believe a play where you care about these people, it's just like, it's more insidious than just admitting you don't care about them.
Right. Like this, it's like, let's,
it's like, at least I'm honest.
There's something that's just like deeply sick about that end of that, where it's just
well, like, yeah, I mean, like, it's like,
hey, let's just have high time preference.
That you'd be okay with these people, but you're also like glorifying them in this way that like if any of those kinds of people ever even like approached you to look at you, you'd cower away and run away.
It's like let's drag this woman who's dying of AIDS on stage because of the fact that she lived her whole life like there was no day but today. And
but it's not even that.
And then let's sing a song about how good of a way that is to live your life.
The person on the stage doesn't have AIDS. They're just pretending to convince you that other people with AIDS are normal when they are not. It's the same thing where they tried to convince everybody that people who are gay are normal when they are not. It's like, it's just not true. And anybody who has experience with those kind of people knows it's not true.
I think it's revealing what a death cult this whole thing is, you know? And then on top of it,
Well,
it's
I mean, they've been pushing it for so long.
right? And then on top of it, Mark Collins is like, I robbed an ATM. I robbed an ATM so that I have a bunch of free money to pay for my globo homo fucking socialist future. Like, isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful. I robbed an ATM. You know?
It's just amazing to me that, like, somehow they were truly able to sell that kind of sentiment to people as like a non-established, like an anti-establishment thing. Like, you really thought the establishment was anti-gay when they allowed that shit to be published.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really thought that? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the amazing thing to me is that how people buy into these like fake counterculture movements. It's like why would that shit be allowed to be mainstream? If it was actually counterculture. Like, why can't you see through that?
Well, let's take a look here. Music, lyrics, book were all by a man named Jonathan David Larson. Jonathan David Larson was an American composer playwright, noted for exploring the social issues of multiculturalism, addiction, and homophobia in his work. Larson was born to Jewish parents, Alan and Nanette Larson, in White Plains,
Imagine
New
my
York.
surprise.
Well, interestingly enough, though, this appears to be based on a play by a man named Billy Aronson.